Good afternoon. My name is Vlad Portnoy. I'm an estate attorney in New York and New Jersey. And today, as always, on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock, we're answering your questions. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and send us more questions because chances are, if you have them, someone else might too. So we get this question a lot. How do I pay for long-term care in general? Well, there's only a few options. You can pay cash if you're independently wealthy. You can have sufficient healthcare insurance, which most people do not. Or you can get Medicaid, which is a state-run and operated federal-sponsored program that each state has to pay for your long-term care. Now, the question is, how do you qualify? Because if you can pay cash, nothing's going to happen to your assets. If you have a good life insurance, nothing's happening to your assets. But you have to qualify for Medicaid, in which case you either have to do proper planning or suffer consequences of, let's say, for example, a lien put on your home and collect it at the time of your death. So when people are saying, I don't want to lose everything, or I don't want the government to come after me and my assets, I want to leave something for my family, that's a process that requires planning. So you must plan accordingly in order to ask the question, how do I get health care and not lose my house? What is the difference between elder law and estate planning? Elder law is a niche that's part of overall estate planning. There are several levels to estate planning. You can have a regular estate planning, like having a will or a trust. That is your regular plain vanilla planning, where regardless of your assets or your income, you just set up a system to distribute your assets to your beneficiaries after you pass. There's also another level to estate planning if you are what's called a high net worth individual, in which case you would have to do planning, but you would also have to incorporate heavy estate tax planning and income tax planning into your process. The other side of this is if you don't have any income or inheritance tax or estate tax looming over you, but you do want to qualify for Medicaid. That's elder law. This is estate planning that would include Medicaid planning. That's all that elder law is. So there's regular estate planning, there's estate tax planning, and there's elder law, which is estate and Medicaid planning. I hope that helps. So the question is, how do I protect my primary residence should I need long-term care? It's an interesting question because if you can pay for yourself, no one's coming after your house. But if you want to do Medicaid planning, there's a little caveat that says, hey, you can keep your primary residence up to a certain pretty high value amount. And you would think that because you get to keep it during a lifetime, you get to keep it after your passing, or your family gets to keep it after your passing. And the problem is that it's a trap. The idea is that there's such a thing as a state recovery, and the state will come after your assets that they can recoup against for anything they paid for your Medicaid and home care and all of the other expenses during your lifetime. You have to protect that asset through legal means that are transparent and reportable to the state, so the state knows what you're doing in accordance with their rules and regulations and laws, and you're not breaking any laws, and you're not sneaking behind anyone's back, and it's done legally. This is exactly what we do here.